Good evening, everyone. It's a little different. Normally I'm working at this time. So uh might as well do some work. Hopefully everyone's doing well. It's Saturday evening, which is different. We'll see how different this goes or it can be. But I'm go here, go home. Welcome. This is Rail Talk. Let's talk trains. So today we are going to be doing some work. I got a couple of projects that I'm working on, and you guys are welcome to join. So, much like the Sunday brunch kit build, which probably won't happen anymore or ever or sometimes, I don't know yet. But Sunday mornings are kind of iffy now. So here I am Saturday night, and I'll be here next Saturday night and the following Saturday, keep going and going. And we're gonna show up. We're gonna work on some kits. I do a lot of work with mini prints as well. Work on the layouts, weathering, graffiti, you name it. I'm going to be doing it, and you guys get to watch. Of course, if anybody wants to join, I'll throw the link up soon there in the chat. And of course, if you're working on something as well, you're welcome to come up and share and talk trains, right? Have some rail talk. So well, I want to say hi to everybody in the chat there who took the time to show up nice and early. John with the cookie, and we got Perry, Trains by Perry. We've got M&M Rails. We've got Bubs. We've got Brian Ferguson. Mr. Ferguson, how's it going? We got C and EI, John, and Mike Hotrains, and Mr. Dwight Curley. Bub031, don't forget he's got a video that's coming out at some point tonight. Of course, it's the Athearn Via Rail Switcher, the SW1000. See his take on it. I know we've seen a couple of videos so far. Does it stack up? Well, we'll find out. Then we've got Awesome Possum and another John number 32. How's it going, everybody? Everyone's doing well on this Saturday night. So we're going to be working on something here that I actually did a bit for the layout last week. Not on a live. I wanted to test it out first to see what's going to happen. And it worked pretty well. Yeah, no complaints. I made a valance, and it's like a budget-friendly valance. I'm pretty sure the word is valance. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but Freddie, how's it going? So basically, I wanted to add lights to the top of the layout. When Mark was here last time, and I was doing a live, I think it was for my birthday show back in March. Basically, we were running trains, and I noticed that the top of the layout was very dark. And basically, I wanted to add more light. And I think it was well overdue. So because it's a drop ceiling, there's not really much I can connect it to. And also, this is, I'll show you the lighting here. This is what I use. So it comes in a big roll. And I think there's about 15 feet, but it's your regular LED strip lighting. And I've got two pieces here, but basically I had 15 feet of this, and this is all I have left. This is about 4 feet left because I used a lot of it already for balance, which you'll see the difference that it makes when I do my my April update, layout update video. So this here, I can connect it, even though I've cut it, because you've got the little metal pieces here, the copper conductors that you can solder wire to. I know it's very bright. You can't see it probably. There we go. Yeah, you can kind of see it now. And you add your wire to it. There's a positive and negative, and then all your LEDs are right along here. So what I've been doing is I made, I think it was like 6 or 7 feet long, and I took a few of these. This is foam core board, and I had to attach them like this to make it even longer, right? So I had to make 2 that were kind of like that, where they were just really long. And of course, you add the lighting to it, and then you wire them all together. And I attach them to the drop ceiling with a couple of they're like clothespins but metal, and they just clip into the drop ceiling. And I don't have to worry about gluing them or anything to the roof or whatever. And yeah, I can remove them. I can move them if I wanted to, and it basically just shines the light down at the layout, and I get way more light. It's so bright now. You can actually see the top level. But yeah, like I said, for the finished product, you can check out my layout update for April, which is not out yet, but expect that this week. Anthony, hey Anthony, I forget if I said hi to you already, but that's okay. And Tim, hey Tim, how's it going? John says, I noticed the pipes here, at least the pipe is in the same color all the way, just not the ends. Which pipe is that? Are you talking about the I don't have my pipe car with me. John, are you talking about the bulkhead pipe car with the pipe car or the pipe loads? Yeah, Mark, you're definitely gonna have to come back next March. But yeah, so I'm gonna create 2 small valances. I've already got a bunch of stuff pre-cut. I've got my trusty glue gun here, my dollar store glue gun. Again, this is just a like you can go and you can buy a valance and whatnot, depending on how good of a valance you get. You could pay 50, 60, 70, 80. I'm not sure how much valances are going for these days, but mine cost 25 for 15 feet of LED. And for a big square of, or a rectangle of the foam core, it was a couple of bucks from the dollar store. And then I wrap it all in, this is your basic Bristol board, very flimsy. And that was like $1 from the dollar store. And of course, all you need is your glue gun, glue sticks, a sharp knife. So you want to make sure you get these cuts clean. You don't want to drag a knife through there because it'll ruin it. It'll make it look not cool. And then, of course, as many glue sticks as it takes. So I'm going to just point this down for a moment. And while I'm waiting for my trusty glue gun, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link in the chat. If anybody is working on something train related, you're more than welcome to come up and share. Hey, Sidetracks, how's it going? Sidetracks wants to know what the word is. The word of the night is valance. I know you were probably hoping me for to say, bird is the word, maybe. Not tonight. Tonight the word is valance. So I'll show you the construction, basically how I'm doing this. So I've got 6 pieces here. It's going to be 3 for each. I create a triangle, basically. So I'm going to glue this to this edge right here. And I'm going to glue another one on this edge. And then I am going to bring them together in the middle like this, like a little triangle. And then put a bead right down the middle. It'll hold it. And I'm going to do that twice. So these were pre-cut. I've got 2 inches by 2 feet. And that's how, they're all the same size. And of course, I've got 2 strips of LED, which are also, they're just under 2 feet. I wanted to cut them at the actual, because this is what one individual LED looks like. And I know it's very bright. Can't see that, but I can tell you it's not very, very long. So, oh, Well, we'll see what happens. So I'm just waiting for this to heat up still. Usually, it's not a professional one. I just got it at the dollar store. Again, not very expensive. These are all the cheap little crafts that you can do. And like I said, you can do a couple of these, spread them out, and then you can just chain them together with wire. There's a positive and a negative. You just want to make sure your positive goes to positive, negative goes to negative. You guys know all that stuff. That's the most wiring you're probably going to see me do besides a basic layout. But yeah, I can at least do that much. I'm not a huge electrician guy, but yeah. So this will be fun. I've already, like I said, I already did a couple of these, and they turned out really, really well. I think I want this one to be the bottom one. This looks like the cleanest. Now, the reason why I've got the foam core and then I've got the wrap as well is that once I glue everything together and I make sure the main triangle structure is good and it's dry, it still looks really ugly because you can see a lot of the glue and whatnot. So I take the Bristol board that I have here and I glue it on the inside and I roll it and I wrap this piece here with the solid Bristol board so it looks like it's all one piece. So that'll be fun. Now, also, while I'm waiting for the glue, I'm going to mention, obviously, we've got several different shows going. So Monday nights, we've got Trackside Mike and Dundas Junction Model Railroad. They are our Canadian counterparts, and they do a show every Monday night at 7 o'clock, and they're off the rails Monday. I'm part of a group myself, and we do Third Rail Thursdays, which is every Thursday at 8 o'clock. We've got Tim, which he was just live literally the other day. And then I'll be live next week. And then Mark is normally, M&M Rails. You guys know him as M&M Rails. I know him as Mark. But he does the third week. And then we're still doing GBO After Dark, of course. We're in season 6 now. So if you need to catch up, we have a whole playlist of old GBO After Darks that you can go back and see. Okay, so when I have this lined up here, I can just go in and I can pin it. And I'm going right along the crease there, so I'm connecting both pieces together. Rail Artist, how's it going? Funny you should ask Fred. She's driving us nuts at the moment. Overall, she's great, but when she's bored, she bugs Lily. Ah, yes, the new dog. I don't think we'll see too much of Trackside Mike this month because of his work schedule. He's kind of changed shifts as well, but his only changes for about a month. I think it's just like 4 or 5 weeks, something like that, which sucks. But he'll be back to normal in May. With me, I just had I say some, but there was a lot of changes through my work personally that basically made me want to work days. So now I work days, and my shifts are all random now, which if you know me, you don't like random too much anyways. I prefer same shift, same schedule every day, every week. It's easier for me to remember. I don't like trying to remember my shift. I'll show you. And it's not much to look at. Yeah, so far, right? But when this thing comes together, it's honestly, It's very handy. I showed a couple of the guys, of course, because chat with some of the guys right outside of the lives there, and I sent the pictures, the before and after pictures of the top of the layout, and they were impressed. They thought it was quite the difference. So it will definitely make things a lot brighter up there. And I remembered in May, I think May coming up, I have a whole week off, so I plan on doing quite a bit that entire week just to do more on the layout. So I'm really hoping that I get a lot done and I get a lot of the top of the layout done. So see how I've got the glue in there? It's basically you're welding it together. You're just doing a bit of a weld. Of course, I'm not a welder, so you can tell because I've got strings of hot glue. It makes it look not great, but that's the inside. It's going to look really clean on the outside, I promise you. But that's just the way the outside looks. Or sorry, that's just the way the inside looks. Am I tired already? Oh my god. Past my bedtime. 8 o'clock. Let me know, guys, if you do enjoy the Saturday nights. It's something I am not opposed to, and I think it's convenient for me because I think that it's the only day during the week that I can consecutively show up every Saturday, unless I'm out of town, of course, because I go to shows and whatnot, and I try to go to different events now or more. So unless I'm out of town, I'll be here. Dundas Junction Model Railroad, James. How's it going, James? He's one of the two that does the Monday night. So make sure if you don't already follow him, make sure you do. James and Mike go every other week. They trade off. So best bet is to follow both of them. Well, that worked. That's awesome, Possum. I see. I have to work every other weekend now, which sucks. I used to work every single weekend, from 4 to 11:30. So I would always do Sunday mornings, 11 to 1, or 10 to 12, stuff like that. But now that I work mornings and I work every other weekend, I can at least do every Saturday night. So there's that. Now, as well as doing every Saturday night, I'm going to be adapting a lot of the same stuff that I would do every Sunday morning. So one of the big things that we did every Sunday morning was the Sunday brunch group kit build, which I love doing because then you get to see a couple different renditions of the same kit, and we all get to build the kit together, which is awesome. So basically, as a group, we choose a kit and we all go get it, and then we work on it live. We talk about our process. We talk about some of the tools that we use, give tips and tricks and whatnot. We review the kit because we've had good, bad, and ugly. So, it's good to know what you're getting before you actually get it. Willow Creek, how's it going? And the next kit build, which we'll be doing it on the Saturday night. Oh, James, I am building a Valance right now, believe it or not. Now, James being a electrical guy, he's probably gonna drop kick me for this one because this is the cheapest version of a Valance that you can probably do. A couple of bucks for the frame, and then I got my lights on Amazon, this LED strip lighting. That was $25 for 15 feet. So under $30 for a valance that you can customize and make fit your area. I mean, it's awesome. Works for me, anyways. Crooked River in Eastern, Dave. How's it going? Good to see you. Dave does a Thursday morning live. So make sure if you like the Thursday mornings, then you'll definitely want to follow him for sure. Call your show Saturday Night Live. Yeah, I feel like there would be a large hammer that would come down and smite me if I did that. Very large hammer. Okay, so I've got both sides. I'm creating a triangle. This is all I'm doing. I'm creating a triangle. This is like, I don't know. I was going to say kindergarten, but I don't think they allow kindergartens to use hot glue. So we'll say this is high school. Yes, absolutely, James. I am definitely planning to have some guests on as well. I always put the link up in the chat as well. If anybody wants to come up and talk trains, it is there. If anybody needs me to re-add it, let me know. I can do that again. But basically, what I do plan on doing, the next group kit build, it's going to be my first full wood kit. I did promise Wigwag. You guys know Wigwag Workshop. He's a big wood working guy, and he loves his wood kits. So I promised him. It was probably a year ago. I said we'll do a wood kit. So we're going to go with an ITLA kit, but because go big or go home, as I always say, we're not just going to do an ITLA kit. I'm going to have Nick from ITLA, and he's going to join us. And it's probably just going to be one night before we start the kit. We're gonna talk about the kit. We're gonna hear the tips and the tricks from Nick himself, Mr. ITLA, and he's going to walk us through it. And we'll talk shop and of course do some rail talk. So it'll be fun. I'm excited, and I just got to pick a date. But of course, with the whole shift change and all this, it's really pushed it back from what was originally March to now April, maybe going into May a little bit. I have to talk to him still. We have to set a date. Saturday Night Live. Yeah, if he was on every single Saturday, I mean, definitely. But I'm very excited because Nick is a great guy. I've worked with him in the past, and we've met several times in person. So yeah, he's a great guy. Intermountain veteran units going on the track for Monday. That's awesome. And you have two of them, both numbers. That's awesome too. I wasn't sure if I should get both numbers. I really like it, but I had all the other ones, and I wanted to get one of each. Just to say I've got the full set. It's not a full set, but it's still something. Now, the cool thing about hot glue that I find anyways is that once it dries and it's hardened, it's very strong. I use it throughout my layout when I do my weaving. Yeah, I do the cardboard strips, and then I weave them all together when I'm creating my land formations, hills, the areas between the the side of the tracks to wherever the background, all that stuff. And it works really well. Cover it with paper mache, and it's very strong once the glue dries. So hot glue is definitely a key tool here that everyone should have for their layout. Saturday Knife Live? Saturday Night Knives? He's working overtime over there. Jeez. Yeah, I'm still kind of workshopping the name. I mean, I like Rail Talk. Um, but as far as like Saturday, like Saturday something something something, it doesn't. I couldn't think of anything that really rolls off the tongue like Sunday brunch kit build. Um, you know, we'll workshop it. We'll come up with something. But I feel very good about doing this whole Saturday night thing, and I'm thankful that like people are showing up. It's awesome. Oh, you're having fun at my expense. Well, that's Mark in a nutshell. That's why we're best friends. James can build. Yeah, James. Apparently, you have a whole stack of kits. Yes, Dave. So, due to scheduling conflicts, my work being stupid, my whole schedule has changed, like completely changed, and I work days now, and I work every other weekend. So I didn't want to do every other Sunday morning because I wanted to be consistent. Before I was doing every Sunday morning, unless I was sick or I was out of town. You know, much like your Thursday morning show. You do your Thursday morning every week, unless there's an issue. Knock on wood, right? But the Saturday night was the only time that I could really lock in that made sense for my current schedule. So Saturday night fever dreams. I feel like you're getting closer, Mark. You're so close. You're like, tip of the tongue, really, You're so close. You're gonna say it, but first, before you say it or type it in, you're gonna jump up and you're gonna be like, Eureka! I know what we can call it. And then when you type it in, I'll stand up and I'll be like, Eureka! You thought of it. That's usually how things work. Do, 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 do. We're fresh out of disco balls. So, okay, so here's your basic shape, right? It looks kind of like cardboard almost. Well, I mean, it is, foam core board. Uh, but that's your basic shape, right? It's flat on the top, so it goes against your, wall. And there's a nice angle here, right? So you put this along the edge and it points somewhat down at whatever it is that you want to light up. And this is what I've done for all of mine, basically. This is your basic shape. But yeah, because see how the foam looks gross, and then you've got the glue that's here that looks gross too. I'm going to show you how we clean that up a little bit. Now, for the ones that are longer, you do have to do several wraps, and it's a little bit more difficult, but that's okay because we're working through these things. So maybe I can do. I was gonna do the other one, but I think I'm gonna do this one first, and then that way you can see the whole process of one being made. I'm just gonna put a bit more glue in here just to make sure, because it is strong, but I just want to make sure that it's stronger. No, it has a sticky backing to it, so I don't have to glue this. I can add extra glue, but from what I've seen with the other ones, I attached the strip right to the valance without needing any extra or additional glue on the outside of the valance once it's wrapped. Okay, so that's cool. That's the shape. I want to add a bit more here. I'm just gonna There we go. Okay. The only thing I don't like about hot glue are like the spider webs, you know. The stringy glue. Especially when you're working near track, you always want to make sure that you clear that off so that you do not get glue in the rails and on your trains. Okay, I had that the wrong way. So I've pre-cut this to 2 feet, and it'll line up side to side, just like that. And hopefully this works, because, you know, doing anything live is nerve-wracking. So I'm just gonna set this on here. So you'll notice that the way that I'm gluing this on here, I'm putting the glue right along this top foam part first, because when I fold it around and I wrap this whole thing, I got to make sure that it keeps to a very specific shape. And I want this piece here is going to be fully covered by the end of it. Now you can use whatever color. I prefer black because it's going to hide everything. Also, just like your fascia, if your fascia is black, it's supposed to take your eyes away from this and focus on whatever it is that you're lighting up. So that's why I use black. Same thing with my fascia as well. Whoops. Glue stick went flying. Times like this, I wish I had more than 2 hands. Okay, here we go. Now, I don't expect anybody to just build one of these or go out and build one of these, but if you ever need one, at least you know you've seen me do it and it's not impossible. I just know I need them for my layout. And yeah, once I post the layout update video, you'll see the huge difference. And I do mean huge because it's a difference of night and day, I guess is what I'm saying. Because it's dark right now, and then you add lights, and well, you guys know how lights work, so that's fine. But yeah, that's basically it. Okay, so next thing I want to do is I want to add some glue right along here because it's gonna stick to the sides, and this is where I kind of roll the the valance forward. So this is, you know, I'm just kind of rolling it, and you can see here, and I'm going to roll it forward, and it's going to go like that. And we're going to keep that shape. Okay, so I'm going to lift that up again. And I'm just going right along here. one balance is basically done here. I definitely didn't want to do the difficult ones live because like I run out of room real quick. Even though I'm on my new desk and this desk is I don't know, it's like a foot or two longer than my old desk. Uh, yeah, you know, I definitely needed a bigger desk to be able to do certain kits, and then of course the balance as well. So again, this is the top part here. This is the very top of the balance. And we're about to cut this because this is the very top and we don't need to seal this thing in. This top part here is going to go right where your roof is or ceiling. Also, of course, make sure you have a sharp knife. And under this, I've got my cut resistant green thing, sheet, whatever you want to call it. They're very handy as well. You might want to get one of those. I had one, and then it was kind of small. Got it from Amazon for $20. And then Bubs was like, go to Princess Auto and you can get a bigger one for less. And I said, a bigger one for less? And he said, a bigger one for less. And I'm like, there's no way. And he said, yes, there is a way. And then I went, and the one that I have here was $15, and it's like 2/3 bigger than the Amazon one. So thank you, Bubs, for that. Okay, there's your balance. So that's the top part there. You don't see any of that. And look how basically this is all, looks like it's one piece. You know what I mean? Except for obviously that part. That's the top part. And that's your balance. Also, the dark does not reflect any light, so that's good. And I'm just gonna put that right in the corner so I can. Just want to put a little bit of glue in certain parts here just to kind of hold that closed a bit. So you might need to do that on certain parts here. I'm going to move this out of the way because done with that for now. That's true. Yeah. So again, these are just the measurements that I used. So I cut 3 pieces at 2 inches, and then one of them is always the bottom. For what I'm doing here, that was good enough. But yeah, if you change the angle, then or change the width of this, then you're definitely changing the angle of this. So I'm going to show you here because I've got my strip lighting. This is my 2-foot piece of LED. So for this, I wanted to, and I think I'm only going to do the lights on one because I really wanted to take a closer look at where I'm putting the other one. Like I said, I have enough to make 2, but one of them I know where it's going to go, and the other one is for another area up there. So I can put this right like that. There's no real, issue with that. Okay, there you go. So there's your LED strip. And I can show you like this. So if the wall was the ceiling, it would obviously go like this. And then you can't see the light on this side because it's not shining in your face. And this side here is pointing towards whatever it is that you're trying to light up as far as with the layout. There's a quick little balance. Well, I say quick, but it was 30 minutes, but I do a lot of talking during. So neat, right? And then, of course, I have to wire this up still. I could probably do that here, but I'm going to glue my other valance together first. So again, it's a quick, inexpensive valance for above your layout. 2-inch, 2 feet, and you can kind of make your own however you want to make it, but this is just how I'm doing it. Hot glue and foam core board. I use foam core board honestly for so many things. No more Sundays, Tim. No more Sundays, unless there's going to be graffiti Sundays. If you're thinking about doing a graffiti Sunday, I don't know, maybe. Also with Tim, you go to make it like that.com. Let me check the card. Got his business card here. No, they make it like that.com, but make it like that.etsy.com is his Etsy store. He does some 3D printing, and I've got garbage cans, and they're very cool. You get 4 to pack, either HO or N scale, and one of them is going to be a custom one. Mine says, what is it, GBO? I think mine says GBO. Where's my GBO? Yeah, GBO, which is awesome. You can say, oh, I want I wanted to have so and so's name on it, and he'll do a little name on there in graffiti. One normally says something like no dumping, no parking, stuff like that, and the other two are just weathered. Well, they're all weathered, but yeah, you can buy them right from Tim. I know a couple of guys that have already purchased some from him, and they were all very, very happy with their products. So definitely go check out Tim's Etsy store. He has a bunch of other stuff as well. He normally gets cars, like rail cars and whatnot, both HO and N scale, and he'll weather them up or graffiti them or both. And he'll put them up for sale as well. So if you're looking to buy some stuff that's already weathered, maybe you're not a big graffiti artist yourself, you can buy some stuff from him that's already pre-weathered and pre-graffitied, and it's ready to roll at that point. Oh, and he'll have new stuff. So yeah, that's awesome. So keep an eye out on his site there, and he'll be loading more and more. And James has been dabbling in graffiti a little bit too, I see. Which is really cool. Because I never thought in a million years that James would do some graffitis, but he is. He's doing it. He's doing it. So that's cool too. See how inspiring everybody is? That's why I can't watch, G scale stuff, because then I'll be like, oh, now I need G scale. Yeah, it's tough sometimes. And, when it comes to weather, like even for me, I'm still yet to weather a locomotive. Very nervous. Very nervous. I mean, I would probably just end up having Perry do my locomotives, but I want to at least try one to say that okay, I did weather it. I weathered one, but it's still nerve wracking. The agenda for tonight. Well, the agenda is I work on some stuff. If anybody wants to join, I can throw the link back up. Tim, you're obviously you're welcome to join. Uh, Other than that, no real agenda. We're just working away. Saturday night. It's been a long week. You know, People just want to hang out, talk trains, and shoot the breeze, and it's what we do. It's what we do. Oh, I guess I should show you what I'm doing instead of looking at me or my hat. So I'll turn that down, and there we go. So yeah, I'm building the second valance here. Oh, I can imagine weathering the locomotive is fun. I just I want to get some of these MK weathering supplies. I feel like I would probably do a better job if I had the right tools. I use these weathering powders. I don't know where I put them. Where did I put them? That's what happens. You get a new desk and everything moves and disappears and you don't know where anything is anymore, and that's all decals. Here they are, in with my electrical stuff, because that makes sense. Yeah, this is weathering powder by Monroe Models. So yeah, I just grabbed the white one. That's weathering powder, by the way. But yeah, I was using the Monroe weathering powder, which is fine. It works. Is it amazing? Yeah, the right tool for the right job. And I think that if I was to do a locomotive, I probably want the MK stuff. Willow Creek just started weathering buildings. Yeah, even the buildings too. Like everything needs to be done at some point. I did a little bit of weathering on some bridge abutments before I put them in place. And of course, you have to add graffiti because you'll see a lot of graffiti on bridge abutments. I have fun doing that because I like doing all the little characters and stuff. I get to showcase some cartoon characters that I like from video games or TV. So that's fun. And then someone will message me and be like, "Oh my gosh, is that so and so? I used to watch that when I was little." And I'm like, "Oh, I still watch that." I'm a sucker for animation, so it's an easy sell. But yeah, graffiti on buildings, weathering buildings. As Tim would say, they make it like that, or at least they don't make it like that, but it happens to look like that eventually. So that happens. So right now I'm just pinning the inside of this one because I can't really get right in there because it's such a small area. And now I make the triangle. Now, for those of you who have never seen a Sunday brunch kit build, sometimes I make my own loads for things too. And I show you some inexpensive ways to make loads for your rail cars, which are really easy to do and really inexpensive. I highlight the word inexpensive because honestly, you pay enough for a locomotive, you pay enough for rolling stock. Not everything has to be expensive, you know. Quiet windows. Almost. It wasn't mail. It was something about virus protection and Windows being all like, "Hey, do you want to buy this?" And I'm all like, "No, I'm trying to be live right now." So that's what happened. That's literally what happened. You guys seen it? Hot glue is also great because you don't have to wait long for it to dry. As you can see, it's clear, and then when it starts becoming not as, I guess the word is translucent, transparent, when you can't see through it and it's not clear, that means it's dry. Oh, another thing. This is kind of funny. So, because I'm trying to do a kind of like a step up in my lives and how I, do my lives, I was trying today. I did a very quick live, which wasn't much of anything. I was just doing a test with OBS, which is a free studio thing that you can download on your computer, and then you use that as your source for when you do the live, and you can do multiple layers, different camera angles, blah blah blah. And honestly, my computer is just not with it. So yeah, I have to wait till I get my new computer in order to use any sort of advanced technology like OBS. But soon, it'll be soon. There. What side was it that was not as good? I think it's this side. Just adding a bit more glue here just to hold it down a little bit more. Oops. Again, this will all be covered, so it's not a huge deal. You just want it to be as clean as possible. Especially if this is something where, It's going above the layout. Can't really hide it. Yeah, it looks way better at the top level now because it's not as dark. And in the case where, like, yeah, if you're doing a night running and you want to really show those headlights and ditch lights and whatnot, that's fine. You can always power off or even dim these LEDs, and it's done right from the controller. So you got your strip, and then at the very start of the strip, there's a plug, and it plugs into a little brick, and that brick has two outputs. So the one output goes to your LEDs, and the other output goes to your electrical, which plug into the wall. But the little brick itself, it has a plus and a minus and a power. So you hit the power, turns the lights on, and then if you keep hitting the plus, kind of like your volume button, it makes everything brighter, and then the minus makes everything dimmer, which is really cool because you can really set the mood at that point. So I don't mess with the dimmer all that much. I usually either have lights on or lights off, but you know it would make for a great scene. You especially if you're getting closer to the evening, you can have some blue light maybe or a purple light. Mine are just white. Um, yep, because the white light just it's good for what it is. Just making sure you can see everything. This clean edge here. Oops. What's keeping you from working on the layout there, John? I know I hit my roadblocks and burnout, which actually we talked about on GBO After Dark last month. I don't know if you got a chance to see that episode or not, but it was a great discussion that we had about burnout and stepping away from the layout and how some people step away from the hobby altogether. There's been so many good models in the last couple of years too. I can name on one hand at least five, obviously, because I've got 5 fingers. But M420, SD40, no, SD60, F, the P42, which is really nice. Of course, you have to like, lock sound, or not lock sound, Tsunami, if you like that one. The one of my favorites. It's not gonna be everybody's favorite, but the F59 from Rapido, such a nice locomotive. Yeah, there's lots to look forward to as far as the models and whatnot. And I know the Jeep 9s are going to be showing up soon. And I saw another post today about the Dash 8s that will be showing up probably by May, which is pretty cool. So very excited for all those. They're really cool. I'm very on the fence, of course, about the Jeep 9. I'd love to get one, but it's the kind of locomotive you can't get just one, you know, because you're either going to get a couple of the zebra, or you're going to get the noodle with like the mother slug set. So yeah, it's tough. So many good ones. So many good ones. So I'm gonna wrap this one here, but like I said, I'm not gonna put the lights on this one yet, just for the simple fact that it depends on how I'm going to be placing it. I think with this one here, I need to put them a bit lower, but that's okay. Whoops. I'll figure it out. It takes obviously 2 seconds to add them, so I'm not worried. Not getting the Dash 8. Not sure about the GP9. Yeah, it's tough, right? So I was saying, because the Jeep 9, even when I got the Walthers one, and it's funny because I got two Walthers GP9s and they were fine. It was $200 Canadian, which is a reasonable price, probably more than reasonable for a sound locomotive. Walthers, I'm down with Walthers. They do some good stuff. Not a lot of detail, but that's okay. But yeah, so I ended up getting two, and just after I got the second one, I was at the Rapido barbecue with Trackside Mike, and what does Rapido announce? Well, I bet you any money they announced the GP9 and Slug. So you know what I did? I went home and I sold off both of my GP9s because yeah, what they promised to put on the GP9 with, like, the just all the functions and whatnot that they're going to be including. It's crazy. It's said to be a really cool locomotive set. And even just the slug itself has only ever been available as a brass model. I think it was Overland that did that. Yeah, Jeep 9 O&R. I've been barking up that tree for years, James. For years. You got your Jeep 7s before I got my Jeep 9s. I think, yeah. I mean, at this point, the Jeep 9, I think it'll never happen. Same thing with the MP40. It's never going to happen. Some companies don't like to play ball, and it's unfortunate. The Walthers GP9, yeah, the chop nose. I mean, they only have the one number of that anyways, so I don't know if anybody would ever do that, like in a DCC model. I know that one was only offered as DC. I think I had it at one point, but it didn't run all that well. It was very jerky. It would, do that. Hey, Derek, how's it going? So I'm just kind of filling this in here because there's a couple of spots that it sticks out just a little bit. So I just want to make sure that it's hanging on there. You don't really see it anyways because it's facing the ceiling, but I'll know it's there and it'll really bother me. Oh, you got those. You know those are water tankers, eh? They carry water. I think they even say water right on the side. I have a couple of the exact same ones, but I think they're Intermountain. I'm not sure if Intermountain's doing the new ones. Can't remember, but yeah, there was only I think 4 numbers or 2 numbers done. Now they're doing another 2 numbers. Such a weird car. I think they did 5 and 6 originally, like car number 5 and 6. SMT, how's it going, Harrison? I am making a valance. Need to add more light. So, yeah. So yeah, the original thing that I didn't like was that I had to like because it's a drop ceiling. Um, I wasn't about to attach my LEDs right to the drop ceiling. Oh, Bubs uploaded a video. Bubs, your video's ready. But yeah, I didn't want to attach this right to the drop ceiling. I didn't like the idea of that at all. Um, so I'm like, okay, well, how can I attach this in a way that if I need to take it down, I can just take it down easily and reuse it and all that stuff. So that's where the balance comes in. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll build something, and I'm gonna make it inexpensive as possible. So there we go, and it's clean looking, right? It doesn't, you can't really tell except if you look at this side, but that side goes, there you go. Now the only thing is that I don't like is the end. I mean, sure, I could cap that, but it's also useful if if I need to run wire for some reason through it. Oh, this side came undone. I just got to fix that. If I need to run wire through it, then I can do that for whatever reason. I don't really have a reason to do it, but I could. So there's that. Funny thing about like hot glue, if you don't mind burning yourself, it cleans up very, very nicely. See, easy cleanup. There. Okay, so this one, like I said, I'm not going to put this on yet. I think I might have to put it super low here just to make sure that I get to the area to which I really need to make brighter. But that's valance number 2. I'll show you the other one I did just for those who just joined us. This here is a valance, and I've got my LEDs on there. I attach to my ceiling. I wire them all together because there's little connector brass pieces there that you can just solder wire to. Very, very easy to solder to it. And away you go. You plug it in, and they all light up. And they're not lit up right now, but it does kind of look like it. It's very bright. So when I post my video showing my layout update for April, I'm going to be talking about the ones that I've already put up to light up the top part of my layout. It's like 15 inches from my roof, so I had to add lighting somehow. I was adding it to the frame of the other layers, like so for my bottom level, I would attach the lights to the frame on second level pointing down, and that's how I would light my first level. Same thing with level 2, I would attach it to the frame of level 3 pointing down. So now, because there's no real valance above my third level and I can't attach anything to the roof, this is my next best bet. I create these really inexpensive balances using foam core board, and I wire them together and it lights up. Oh, well, part of the reason why I didn't connect the end there is that when I use my little clothespins, I don't know if I have any here. I thought I did. I do not. I might have used them all. Unless there's in my drawer or something. I don't know. I don't know where it went. I thought I had more. But, you pinch it, right? And then it pinches and it holds the end here. And I do one at this end as well. And then I put it up to the ceiling there where because it's ceiling tiles. So you would attach it to the little cross bracing for the ceiling tiles. And it goes right to the roof, like flat, like that. And it shines the light down. It's awesome. It really works. It really does. So very happy about that. And they're both done. That was project 1 for this evening. That was yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna undo my glue. Let that cool down. Steve says, by the way, hello, Steve. You could have put the lights in back and did up lights to bounce off the ceiling. I mean, the ceiling is white, and white really does reflect light. You're very right about that. But yeah, there's not much space there to work with behind the layout in order to really light it up. And I wanted to project it forward. So one of the key things that I learned when I was doing retail, clothing stores, the reason why they have those multi-directional lights is that they want to try to get rid of as much shadow as possible. So, and I'm going to use pens, these Otter Valley Railroad pens, because God only knows I have like every color. Here we go, a pink one. Okay, so with lighting, for those of you who don't know, let's say the silver end is the direction that the light is pointing. So in order to get a sufficient coverage of light, you have to do cross lighting almost like this. And what happens is that you've got light going this way while you've got light going this way. Therefore, there's no actual shadow because whatever is lighting up this way, normally there would be shadow here or here, I guess, behind whatever. This one here that's pointing this way is actually going behind it as well, and it cancels out the shadow from whatever you have. Like, let's say it's trees, for example. It'll cancel out the shadow of the tree or the building, which is all fine and dandy, right? Because you want to really bring the layout to life, and if the sun is right above you, you're not going to have the shadow, behind. You're going to have the shadow underneath. So if you've got a tree, underneath the tree might be a little dark, but if they're pointed at a decent angle, you should be able to get under the tree as well and just light everything up. So you can really adjust how you do your lighting and, to what percentage everything gets covered. With the LED strip lights that I have here, like with these, I'm pointing it all forward, but there's so many little lights that they kind of do the same thing. So I don't get the kind of shadow that you would normally see if you did, just direct lights going like this. But yeah, that's a quick little light lesson. No moral to the story. Have fun. But yeah, there's so many things to consider when doing a layout, and shadow and light and all that other fun stuff. Oh my gosh. You can go 20 layers deep with that one. Okay, so last time I did a live, I was working on, and I can show you because it's basically, it's almost done. I think it's basically done, but I was working on some little, it's not really a building, it's machinery, really. It's for the scrapyard. And one's the baler, which I'm pretty sure is this one. This is the baler. And I did some weathering on it, some very light, well, sort of. Because there's most things that are metal are painted a color, right? This one, it was metal, and then it was painted green. And you can probably see it better in real time, in real life, where the part that slides in and out here, it took a lot of the paint off, and you've still got a lot of the paint along the edge. Same thing with here, where obviously there's a lot of metal scraping and whatnot. So it's going to be more of a metal color with rust and whatnot. This is the baler. This makes the little cubes, metal cubes. But yeah, I took a bit of time and I did some weathering on it. I really like the backside because it really pops with the yellow, and then there's obviously like rust streaks and stuff like that. I think I did okay. But yeah. Then there's this one here. This one is like at the start of the phase of where I'm gonna start to do a bit more paint and whatnot, which is I think this is the Furious Shear. That's what they call this one, the Furious Shear. And that lifts up and dumps into there. So I'm going to do a bit of painting on this. And you guys, obviously, you saw the conveyor belt last time as well. I finished the conveyor belt. That's on the layout. I added the strings for tension to hold up the end of the conveyor belt. So yeah, I gotta still weather and obviously do like the back side of this thing here, the motor. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Also, you guys know that I like my mini prints. This is another one that I've done recently. I want to do a bit more to it, but this is a scissor lift. And yes, there is even a gentleman that's going. I have to paint him still, and he's going to drive the scissor lift. I was at Michael's getting what is it called? Plaster cloth. I was at Michael's getting plaster cloth. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I saw a red scissor lift out front, and I'm like, that's the color. I'm going to do a red scissor lift. So there we go. But I do want to change the bottom part. I do want to make it more gray, like in where the scissors are. So I might actually do that first because that seems like a much quicker job. And of course, I've got all 50,000 little paints here, and I don't want to use any of them. I'm going to get one of my little bottles here. The little guy looks sad. Nah, he's cool. He's got his little hard hat on, and he's doing his thing. He's got a little hard hat on, and I know he looks fuzzy right now. But yeah. Where is my fine detail brush? There it is. Okay. So what I use, of course, on my oh, he looks blue. That's terrible. That's a terrible joke. Shame on you. So I use the Citadel colors. These are, your Warhammer paints. I love, like, I used to do Warhammer, so I'm used to this paint. Yeah, I like it. It's a little pricey, but they have so many colors. Oh my gosh. You have to tell them what you're painting, and then they'll match you up with, it's kind of like, what is it, Bed Bath and Beyond or something? No, they match you up with what color you need. They technically don't have train stuff, but they've got a whole bunch of other stuff that you could use on a train layout. I get my plaster cloth from them. Mostly because I use the coupon and I get it at a discounted rate. Mostly. I mean, come on, 3 levels. It's basically wood and whatchamacallit, plaster cloth. 50% wood, 50% plaster cloth. Now, if you're doing a Christmas train layout at Christmas time, they've got all the bells and whistles that you would need to make a Christmas layout. Because, you can get the little winter trees and whatnot and Santa Village stuff. It's totally possible. It's a thing. One thing I wish they did sell was what's that stuff called? It's like that plaster stuff. Something mold, Sculpt-A-Mold. Yeah, I wish they sold Sculpt-A-Mold. You can only get that at certain shops. Sculpt-A-Mold is great. Has anybody else here besides myself used Sculpt-A-Mold before? And if you have no idea what Sculpt-A-Mold is, I can tell you. There's no wrong questions here. But yeah. I've done a couple of projects myself with Sculptamold. It's very messy stuff, but does the job. Especially if you're trying to make things a little bit smoother or a bit more realistic. It definitely helps. I'll put it right over top of the ground foam or the whatchamacallit, plaster cloth. The gray definitely looks better going around there. I'm gonna do a bit more to that. My local gaming store has AK, Army Painter, Games Workshop, Woodland Scenics, and everything, or Evergreen Styrene. No hobby store around though. Huh. Yeah, I mean, like AK Army Paint is really good, especially if you're doing weathering. And then for the minis, I really like using the miniature stuff here, the Citadel. Problem is though, in order to be able to do a bunch of different things and have not everything look the same, you need like all the colors or a good assortment of colors, and it's like to get all the colors, it'd be so expensive, so expensive. But it is what it is. You know what you signed up for. Almar, how's it going? Hey, better late than never. No worries, my friend. We're doing this thing till I don't know the next 2 minutes. No, I'm just joking. Well, we'll keep going. But yeah, happy to have you. We do this on Saturday nights now. I had to think about that. We do this on Saturday nights now because we can't do Sunday mornings anymore. So that's why I'm here. Here's another good one that a lot of people should have. It's called Nuln Oil or Black Ink. I know there's different versions of this. It's just an excessively watered down black paint. I can't remember the name of the other brand, but either way, if you ever watch Denny's video, and that's N Scale Dystopia, he just did some repaints for a fantasy Go Transit passenger train. And when he repainted the F40s for the Go Transit, he did some weathering, and this is what he used. Was this one here? So that's pretty cool. He was using this for weathering, but it really like goes into the crevices and whatnot, and it really highlights a lot of stuff. So that's pretty cool. It makes it look so much more alive at that point. Go to this side first because I'm pretty sure this is already dry. And all I do is I just put some of this in here, and it's going to go into the cracks, and it's going to fill it in, and it'll gather into the darker areas, and it's just going to highlight that area. Focus. 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 Come on. Focus. Oh well. Yeah, that's it looks cool. I like that. Thanks, Derek. Oh, I'll show you another thing that I've been working on too. Yellow, I find yellow is like the worst color to work with. And lo and behold, I decided to paint this wood chipper yellow. I know it looks white. You're gonna have to forgive me about the lighting. I'm gonna do something about that. But this, yeah, this is a Mini Prince wood chipper, and it's yellow. But yellow is like a terrible color to use because it's just, especially with the fact that I do the black primer, so you see, yeah, it's just it's hard to work with. So got still a bit of work to do on that one as well. See, I don't even know why this is still out here. I think it's because I got to do the base still, and I got to do a bit more to that. But I was very happy with how that turned out. As for this one here, I'm going to take this piece off, and I know I need to do some more green. So I'm going to do some more green on it. Oh, the little dude that's supposed to be on the thing there, you get in there. Oh, it's falling over. There we go. Okay. 15 coats. Oh, geez. Well, see, that's why I envy Split Rock, because his locos, and his cars, they're all yellow. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my gosh, if I was doing a fantasy paint scheme, they'd all look like Norfolk Southern, because it's just black. Easy peasy, spray black and you're done. But no, he did yellow, and I was like, oof, oh my gosh, that's a painful color to use. Very, very painful. Now, I do make a lot of my own colors here as well. If you've ever seen me mix up some weird stuff, right? Like this one's more of a, I don't know. There's a purple a bit. There's a bit of purple or something. I don't know. Sometimes I'll do a lighter color or a darker color. I don't like to use the colors right out of the bottles. Like for example, this one here. This is more of a turquoise. This is what I use for my pipe loads. The pipe itself, it doesn't need to be dirty, and the color itself is spot on, so I don't need to change this. But if I'm doing something and I don't want it to be bright red, I'll start with, maybe a black, or not a black. Let's start with a red and add a bit of black to it to make it darker. Um, I don't want to use the color out of the bottle. I like to make my own colors. That way, not everything is the same shade. Much like this green I have here. This is green. I know it looks gray, but these machines that I've got here, I decided, you know what, they all came from the same company. The same company made them, and they did their underlying color as green. It's the main machine, so why not? I think on the packaging they were blue, and I wasn't believing the blue. It's just, I could copy it to be like the package, but the blue is just, I didn't love the blue. And it's weird for me because I don't even like green. So if I could do everything red, that'd be cool. I could get away with that. Try painting the model white, then put yellow over the top. Yeah, that's true. I find though, like, because I use spray paint for my primers, the white doesn't dry as good as the black does, as far as what spray paint I use. But that's probably why I did the black. Also to get into the crevices as well, because there's a lot of crevices here and like the wheels and whatnot. So yeah, I think that's why I did it in black. I'm just like, well, I'll suffer through the yellow. Originally, I was like, well, do I want to do it more of an orange or do I want to keep it yellow? And I haven't really fully decided, even though I have painted it yellow already, obviously, but I want it to look dirty anyways. So making it pop might not be the way to go for what I'm looking at or what I see. Color of those things are very weird anyways. It's not orange and it's not yellow, but if orange and yellow had a baby, that's what it would look like, right? I don't know. It's like a pastel neon orangey yellow something. But even this green here, like I did a coat of this already and I'm doing another coat just because I want it to not look so bland. I want it to look like a solid color. And then I'm just going to weather it over top of that. Hey, Ed, how's it going? Happy Saturday. These take up a lot of space too. I don't know if you ever seen these things together in real time, but like, yeah, this thing's about 7.5 inches long. And it's like, unless you have the space in your scrapyard for all these extra parts, it's like, forget it. But I don't mind. I made my main building a backdrop building, anyways, just to kind of save space in that respect, anyways. Mark, you should go live tomorrow actually eating brunch. Be like, brunch sandwich breakfast build. Brunch sandwich? Is there such thing as a brunch sandwich? Today I'm making crepes. Cooking crepes with Mark. Bangers and mash with M&M. Why, Mark, sometimes I feel like you spoil Lily more than you spoil me. So once I do the green and the green is good, I can start adding things like the silver, and then I will add the weathering on after. The weathering that I have been using, which is a little different, but I'm going to continue on with this one. So I did use it with this here, just in case you are wondering. So, the weathering, very light rust on there. I used Woodland Scenics. Where is it? Nope. Woodland Scenics. Nope. I'll pull it out of here. Gonna find it. Oh, geez, where'd it go? Oh, it's at the very back. That's why. Burnt umber. I know. Weird, right? It's the one I use for my rocks. I use the burnt sienna, burnt umber, and black. It's like a black ink as well, but it's a Woodland Scenics black ink. And that's what I normally use for my rocks, my rock walls. I take the burnt umber. It's already watered down, but I add a bit more to it, and I sponge it on. It collects in certain areas. It streaks a little bit, and I think it looks good, especially depending on what other color you use under it. And then I highlight, of course, with the black ink as well to bring out the corners and the edges and stuff like that. And it all dries very flat. It's not shiny at all. So when you're looking at a piece like this, when I'm doing this, yeah, the metal is shiny because I'm using a metallic silver on there. But everything else, I haven't even spray coated that yet. So that's cool. Like it's such a bland color and it's very flat. It's almost like a matte finish to it. Yeah. I was very happy with how it turned out. Same thing with the conveyor belt. I mean, it's already on the layout. That's how happy I was with it. I'm like, oh, this has got to go on the layout right away. I've got a crane there too, an overhead traveling crane that I don't have it glued down or anything yet. It's on the layout and there's tracks running through it. Even the tracks aren't glued down. And what I want to do is I want to bring that in here at some point, probably maybe even next week. We'll see. I've got a few more parts for it, like this here. It's got glue attached to it. Because this is supposed to attach to the crane. There's a little railing there. And you go inside, and that's the guy that operates the crane, and it moves back and forth and all that. There's a little ladder as well. And then this piece, which has wheels on the bottom, it's another part that goes back and forth. And the crane hangs out from the bottom, like the little hook thing. Yeah, I got to paint that as well. So a few small pieces for the crane still. So I want to, obviously, because I've been working on the scrapyard a bit. I've got those scrap and trash gondolas from Otter Valley. So I wanted to do a bit more work in that area just so I can put them to good use, Plus, also, I use gondolas, just regular gondolas. Got all the O&R ones. I think I got about like 18 of those. Too many. Too many gondolas. But they're really cool. So I like pulling long trains with just like gondolas or box cars. That's my idea of fun right there. Not as much of the mixed manifest. I'll do it, but I prefer or what looks good to me is like one type of car. I think that's why I run a lot of passenger too, because all the cars are the exact same, right? And they just look so streamlined together. And yeah, that's why I do that, I guess. I just like the way how it all looks, all the same car. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With the number on the back is 789. Expires at the end of this year. So don't forget, we're going to be doing that next group build really, really soon. And maybe I can show you, because I think I do have the picture still. So if anybody is interested, where did it go? There it is. This is the building that, okay, that's the building there that we're going to do. It's ITLA, it's the York Industries, and I'm going to do it as the flat. So it's going to be a backdrop building. When you go to order something like that, it also gives you the option for extra parts like ventilation, HVAC. Um, if you want to do there's a bay door there as well. If you want to do that with an open bay door, you can get an interior kit as well to detail that, which is really awesome. And I think that one Canadian, it's 130 without all the extra add-on parts. But yeah, you get roof detail parts as well, I think. So if anybody's interested, obviously I'm going to be doing that as a group build. So when I get it, I'm going to hang on to it. I'm not going to build it until we have that sit down with ITLA, and then we'll do the build starting the following week. Usually, as per kits in the past, it goes for a few weeks, sometimes a month. You haven't built the hobby shop yet. That was the first one. We did the hobby shop. That's a year, more than a year ago. We did that in January of 2023, I think. Yeah, you're a year behind. And I thought Bubs was bad because it took Bubs a while to finish his too. He was doing something extra though. He was doing a whole other thing with it. But yeah, no, that was fun. It's fun when we do it. The other one, we did another one where it was Mark's, so M&M Rails, his parents' house. That one was cool. That's on the layout right now. We also did Walther's put out a new double track engine shed or repair shop. I don't know what you'd call it. I'm pretty sure it's a brick style engine shed. But yeah, there was a few of us that did that one as well, and I did like a whole custom roof for that. That was fun. I took the roof from the Walther's Union Station, so like the big glass triangular roof pieces from that, and I put that on top of the engine shed so that you can see inside. I haven't added the lighting to that yet. It's on the list, guys. It's on the list. But when I do add the lights to that, yeah, the whole thing is gonna light up like a friggin' Christmas tree. Let me tell you. And then you'll be able to see inside and all that. So many little projects. But in general, my hope, and it's why I do this, I'd like to be able to, get more people to open up those kits and, you know, do some work on the layout and whatnot. There's always something to do, and you can have fun doing it, and you can share that with fellow like-minded individuals, such as myself, because I love doing this. So, and if you ever have questions or you're not sure what glue to use or what Mark is going to make for breakfast, just ask away. How big is the list? What list? The list. Oh, the list. The list of things that I I always say I've got a million things to do. A million little things. It feels like it anyways. And doing these lives, like, this is one thing on the list. Painting this little sucker and getting him on the layout. Getting this guy on the layout too, these were all on the list. But I'm, scratching them off slowly, and we're getting through it. We're getting through one show at a time, and I find out that I have like way more buildings than what I actually need as well. So what happens, or what's going to happen, is that I'm going to eventually say, okay, does anybody need this type of building? Is anybody looking for this? It's already built, it's already painted, because I have too many kits. If I could just build kits all day, I would be so happy. Because I like building kits. That's what I do. And I end up buying more than I need, which is fortunately unfortunate. So, Papa John, how's it going? Train show tomorrow in Medina, Ohio. So if anybody's in the Ohio area, go check out the train show. I don't think I can ever go to another train show ever again, because Springfield was just so good. Any show I go to after that is just like, why even bother? It's just so good. Randall, I thought we were going to miss you, Randall. I know you're normally hanging out Sunday mornings with me, but we're now Saturday nights. So that's where we are. Elmar says the Merchant's Row kits are next. I've done a couple. They are tricky. They are very tricky. And I'm not completely used to doing brick yet. I'm getting better, and it takes time. But bricky is tricky, as they say. I think they say that. I say that anyways. But, MLW could use some help. Zootopia fun. Oh no. And all the chat is flying. Okay. Gotta go back up for a second here. Ooh, there we go. I decided to mix my love of the movie with Model Railroad, and I'm doing the world in HO. I'm at the point of recreating the trains. What do they most look like? Oh, it's been a minute since I've seen Zootopia. They're like the bullet trains, right? I can't remember. I'd have to either watch it or look it up. My wife is a Disney nut, so I end up seeing all these movies that I wouldn't normally watch. Okay. Yeah, long day at work, eh? Well, welcome, welcome. Heading out, fun time. See y'all in the next chat. All right, Mark. We've got James. I think it's going to be James this Monday, and then I'll be on Thursday, and then we'll be back here next Saturday. Scale Trains finally announced the new N&W J class. Yeah, their first steam locomotive looks very cool. I think it's not their tooling though. I think it's Fox Valley's tooling. I want to say somebody else. I think I don't really know. They're always buying other companies for some reason. But that's cool. It's a cool project, and there's also passenger cars too. Zootopia 2 is confirmed for November. Oh, there you go. Oh, I'm sure she'll be happy. I don't know if that was one of the ones that she likes. She's I can't even remember the name of them. Oh, what is it? I don't know. But we just watched that other one, the new one that just came out to Disney Plus the other day. The Wish. It's a cute movie. I could do without the sing alongs, though. I'm not a sing along kind of guy. Not terribly long. They kept changing the drop off location. It was Dan. It was Dresden, Harvard, and finally dropped them off at Calder. Dang. MTH. Right. Yeah. I knew it wasn't theirs. Like they didn't tool it. They had bought the tooling, but I just forgot whose it was. It does look like an MTH, if I'm being honest. I probably should have been able to guess that. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, John. We were literally just there in November. I don't think I made it past the Mexican pavilion though, because those tacos, oh my gosh. They were expensive, but like so good. Well, everything there in Disney is expensive. Yeah, if my wife had her way, we would have moved out to Florida a long time ago, and she would have been a, I don't know, Mickey Mouse or something. But yeah, we make sure to go every once in a while. Isn't Fox Valley N scale though? Fox Valley did N scale stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but I feel like they did N scale. Taco Bell is dangerous too. Dangerously addictive, and then also like you know stomach plumbing and whatnot. Fox Valley had HO as well. Oh, hmm. Yeah, I thought Fox Valley just did N scale, so that's pretty cool. I didn't know that they had HO. The more you know. Learn something new every day. No, James can't do the fast food. It's probably for the best. I don't recommend it. I'll do it, but I don't recommend it. They had the GP60 series in HO, the standard cab variant, and the wide cab GP60M, as well as the GP60B booster unit. A GP60. Yeah, it doesn't sound Canadian. That's probably why. Did they ever do any Canadian stuff? I could tell you like the whole Rapido roster because they do a lot of Canadian stuff. But when a company, and a great example is Scale Trains, because they very rarely touch Canadian stuff, except for CN because it's a class one, CP because it's a class one, and then that's it. They will never do any short line stuff. Canadian short line, forget it. So other than that, so it's like the same thing with like Fox Valley. Have they done anything Canadian, that I would be looking at or have interest in? Which takes us back to the whole GP9, the high nose for James and myself, because James wants one too. I'm pretty sure. The only company that I know that would do that, if they would do that, would be Athearn. So they're already doing the GP40. They've done GP40s and GP38s. No GP9s though. No O&R GP9s. They were originally done by Proto 2000, which if you've ever had a Proto 2000, you probably need new gears. Because apparently the gears go really, really quick on those. I had one. I opened it up, and the weight that's in there that you have to like literally cut down to fit any sort of speaker in there. I mean, yeah, it's tough. It's not ideal. I don't think any Canadian railroads bought them. The GP60M and the GP60 were Santa Fe only variants. Yeah. Well, steam trains are cool. I wish I could get a CN steam train, but I never see them anywhere. I'd want one with sound. So I'm kind of hoping that Rapido's, what is it, an H10? Which is the CN version, I believe, of whatever the is it like the D10, but only it's an H10? I can't remember. So many specifics. I'm not a Steam guy, but I wouldn't mind one. You know what I mean? I'm a bigger fan of the diesel stuff, more modern. It's all rolling thunder, though. It's all cool. I guess it is about that hour, 10 o'clock. Well, I think that I will just finish up a little bit of this here and then we'll call it a night. So, guys, I really appreciate you jumping in there and hanging out this evening. You can expect this each and every Saturday night going forward. And we'll be doing Rail Talk, Rail Talk Saturday night. And we'll be doing the group builds. So stick around for that because that's always a good time. We always get a number of people involved. And if it's something that you're interested in, let me know. Drop me a message or leave me a comment in the comment section letting me know that you're interested, and see if we can find you a kit, and that way everyone can join in. And even if you just hang out for the I don't know, what do you call it, a seminar, a group chat thing with Nick from ITLA, so that'll be fun. And we'll learn a bit about the buildings and how to properly paint them. That way, even the beginners, if you've never done it before, can make it look like you're a pro. And we'll have a good time doing it. Here we go. We'll let that dry. First thing I thought when Randall said, "Who's going to watch the eclipse?" and I'm like, I really hope nobody says yes, because obviously you'll go blind, right? Hopefully y'all have your safety glasses on, right? Yeah, Almar, if you buy it now, you'll have it just in time for 2027. No, I think it'd be great because I think that the wood kits, they bring a certain level of detail that the plastic kits just don't really, they don't really touch. So it's a great way to bring that bit of realism or more realism to your layout. And I think it's like the easiest way to make your layout look even more professional. So it's just a thought. Also, I mean, wood kits. I've never really. I did one wood kit, but it was a deck. It's on the layout. It's at the front of a mini print trailer, like a mobile home. But it's very small. It's a very small deck. It was actually done by ITLA. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. We'll see what's good, and we'll hang out, chat, talk trains, train talk, rail talk, whatever. I'm sure I'll nail down that name at some point. I don't know yet though. But thank you so much, everybody. I'm going over here, go home, and we'll see you on Thursday when we might run some trains on Thursday. Feeling good about it. Feeling good about it. So have a good night, everybody.